All right, it says I'm alive. Thank goodness. YouTube let me know I'm alive. So good morning. It is Monday. Oh, excuse me. And this is our stitchy kind of chatty morning. And I'm going to just go over some things. I finished the dragon Afghan. I think I have showed it in another video, or I maybe not. But anyway, it's finished. I did have some trouble with the chart work, and that was me just learning to use the charts. I'm not real big on charts, but this one without the charts would be impossible. So anyway, there's the dragon. And because it's bothering me, I know everybody says, oh, he's fantastic. He is, except it bothers me that this red is in the wrong place and that red square's in the wrong place. It sticks out. But other than that, there he is. And it comes out to be about a yard by a yard. And if I wash it and block it, it might be more rectangular. The chart is difficult because you're not going row by row this way, back and forth, back and forth. You're doing it at a diagonal, and you start at his nose and work your way up to his tail. So you're working nose up, just like this. Let's see, where's his nose? This is where you start down here. Let me hold it on the diagonal like that. So this is how you work him. And that's why I got a little messed up at the tail, but it's so far into the project, I am not going to pull it apart to fix it. And I'm going to leave it just like that. I need to quit moving it because that's something that irritates me when somebody's showing something and they're, flying it around. Just hold it still. So that's a finish for this last week. We'll fold this up, put it over on the back here. I've been cutting out dresses, so the piles are getting smaller. I'm going to cut out the fabric that's laying long ways along the top. That's all been pressed. It's ready to cut out dresses. But I thought you guys might like to see the combinations I'm coming up with for the dresses. Hi, Crafty Kaz. Hi, Janet. So I think I have 5 dresses cut out now. And what I'm going to show you is the pockets, because that'll be the outside of the dress. This is the label you have to attach. That's mandatory. And they ask that you do it right on the front of the dress, either on the pocket or on a shoulder, like up in here. So that will be the outside of the dress. And then the pockets and the bodice are going to be lined with ladybugs. So that's dress number 1. And then this dress has, hang on. I'll get it. It has flamingos on the outside. And on the inside, it's just a geometric minty green that'll go on it. So that's the second dress. The skirt is not lined on this, but the bodice and the pockets are lined. This one, all right, this one I'm going to mix up just a little bit. This will be the pocket, okay? And the lining is this red. But the skirt for this dress is going to be the red with the pocket on the front. And then the bodice will be the watermelon lined in red. So that's how I'm going to do that one. Because I didn't have enough of the watermelon fabric to do the skirt. So the skirt's going to be in the red. And I think that'll look okay. Don't you guys think that'd be okay? I can't wait to start sewing, but I'm trying to get as many cut out as I can so that I can put them in smaller stacks by color. And that way I can like production line put them through. All right. So the next dress, the pockets and the whole dress will be like this. And the lining, oh, let me flip one of the lining over. And the lining's going to be a stripe. Okay. And if I wanted to, instead of doing it like that with the label on there, I could do the dots as the lining and use the stripe as the pockets. I just have to make sure I put the Project Dress a Girl label on the outside. But you can mix up how you do these. So if I wanted to do the pockets in the stripe, I could do the bodice in the stripe. So you can mix these up and then do the skirt in the dots, because I had lots of the dot fabric, not so much of the striped fabric. But I was thinking of doing real matchy this year and only do kind of weird combinations when I don't have enough fabric to do it all together. Uh-oh, I left one of the skirts pieces. Hang on. One skirt piece has been turned right side out because I've marked where the pockets have to go. And then the last dress is this unicorn fabric. It's got unicorns and castles and such. And then the lining is this dot. So those are Project Dress a Girl dresses thus far. And I've got more ready to go. And then, I wanted to also, when I cut the dresses, hi, Ann. When I cut the dresses out, I'm cutting out 2 5.5-inch squares as well and setting them aside so that I'll have some squares from every fabric used. And I can turn around and turn this into a quilt block or whatever. And I could do 4 patches. Like this is all from the dot dress. So if I put them like this, I'll use me as a whatever it's called. And see, that could be a block. That would represent one dress. Okay. So I might do 4 patch blocks and then just put them all together, maybe with a sashing around each one. And then I'll have a memory quilt of this year's Project Dress a Girl dresses. I did that with my first year and I still haven't finished that quilt, but I have it. It's actually put together. But what I wanted to do is I've cut out a bunch of the hearts and I want to applique them on the quilt top before I quilt it. All right. And then I have this one goes with the gingham. And there's this with the flamingos. And then the last couple here with the unicorns and the pink with the dots on it. But what I've done is I've tried to pull fabric from my stash from under my bed for the linings of the bodice and the pockets so that I'm using up some of that stash as well. So there's Project Dress a Girl Chit Chat done. Now I have been working on my cross stitch project, The Nature's Journey. And I do have the lamp here that I got, and it's great, except that I wish it had more weight in the base so I could pull this lamp out. See, I want to pull this way farther. Oh, so it's away from the table more, because right now I have to do like this. I'm still bent over, and the lamp is cool, and you can change the amount of light and the hue of the light. And it gets brighter and brighter, and then you can decrease it on this side. So it's a nice, and it is helping. It's just, it's not really sped anything up because I still have to pull it into my nose. So I've got it in the frame because I've been working on it some, but you can see I've added the couple of different pinks to that daisy now, but it's just slow going. I don't think I should have tried to do a project with such small Aida. This is a 28 count Aida, and this is going to take a bit of time. And as I'm stitching things, I have my little, I printed off a copy of the chart so that I can use my little board. I didn't realize I still had this, so I was kind of thrilled about that. But I also have this little strip here, and it's got a red line down the middle of it, and you can line it up with whatever line you're on, so it magnifies the design. The only problem I'm really having with the copy is the ink kind of, sometimes when ink goes on paper, it spreads a little bit, and that's kind of distorted the shapes. Each stitch is a different, no, each thread has a different representation. And so I have to look on here, and then I have to look on in the magazine for the color chart right here. And it's those little, see all the little icons up the side? Those are hard to transfer from my copy over to this list because the copy didn't print clear enough. So I am using one of the Q frames. I'm not used to using something this big, and it's a learning curve. All of this, I'm using a small Aida. I'm using this great big frame, and I'm just not used to using it. So if any cross stitchers out there have any idea of how I could make this better for myself, I would greatly appreciate it. I do love my little needle minder because I can just kind of throw my needle toward it and it grabs it because it's magnetic. So that does help. This has got to be cut because that's going to be in my way. There we go. So I am making progress, but it may take me more than a year to do this at the rate I'm going, because each stitch takes me like 15 to 30 seconds, which that doesn't sound like much, but there's a lot of stitches on here. Is Safia here? Good morning. I was just watching Peg. She's talking about organization, and she was organizing stuff at 1 o'clock this morning or 1:30 this morning. And she was live. I saw Barbara Clark popped in there. So some of you late nighters, I'm sorry, I'm just never going to make it. I made one for Ben, and it took 5 years, so it was ready for Sam when he was born. Yeah, I've done cross stitch in the past, but it's been a long time. And I do have that other project. I didn't work on it this week, of the little birds. It's over there on that other table. So I do have, and that one's at, I think, a 14 count, and that's so much easier to see. With this one, I'm doing over 2 threads. So 2 threads up and down, 2 threads side to side. So you have to go corner to corner over the little square that looks like, there's 2 this way, 2 this way. And you have to come out at this side and down here. And, oh boy, it's doing my head in. Oh my goodness, it's not even that big, and it took you 5 years. Well, I'm just going to embrace this project because I really, really love it. I just love that it shows all 4 seasons, and I can't wait to do it. So this is all Just Cross Stitch's fault getting me back in. Another thing I loved about this is you can pull things out of here and just stitch the small things. Like there's bees and mushrooms and leaves. You could just cross stitch any of this. And if I cross stitched on a 14 count, they would be larger and I could see better. But I truly wanted to do this on a piece of Ada that they called for this time. And I think Lynn at Lynn Yvonne's too, I think she said she's doing like a 30 count and she's only going over one thread. So hers is more compact because she's only going over the one thread, but hers is, she seems to be going a lot quicker, but she cross stitches all the time. So she's always got like multiple projects on the go. I'm going to try to just stay steady and work on just this one in between getting ready to sew the Project Dress a Girl. I'm probably going to stitch on this for a little bit more this morning. And then I'm going to take a break and cut some dresses out. I can only stand for so long over that table to cut the dresses. So I'm going to try to just like, I'll work 30 minutes on this and then maybe 30 minutes on cutting dresses out and do that kind of back and forth. I have to pay bills today. It's one task as a homemaker I do not enjoy, but Scott, he hates it even more. So I'm the one that does that. That's one of my tasks. So I got to do that. I really need to go over to Tractor Supply because I can get the cat litter and cat food a whole lot cheaper at Tractor Supply than I can at the grocery store. And what else do I need to do? I might not make it over there today unless we go after Scott gets home from work. We'll see how he's feeling. He was not moving too good this morning. We enjoy having company, but we had Greg's friend from Tennessee for 2 days, and then his local friend came over like within 10 minutes of one leaving. We had somebody else here, and we told Greg next weekend we need just a down weekend with nobody outside the three of us in the house because we just need a down weekend. So yeah, I do find socially, but it exhausts me so much. It takes me days to recover. So if I do something with you in person, know that I'm having a good time. Even if I go silent, I'm having a good time, but then I have to go home and crash. I don't know what it is about me, but I think it's from I was raised very isolated. I was with my grandmother, and it was her and I until I went to school in the fall. So I was not socialized like most kids are. I had activities and things, but most of the time it was just her and I. So I think I do better with just small groups. So like going to the event I did earlier in the month at the State House, that was very draining, but we enjoyed it. We had a good time, but then we had to have days of recovery. And people that don't have social anxiety, or I don't know what it is, don't understand that need for, you just have to regroup and just relax. It's just something different. So anyway, the chat is not moving. I hope I'm still going. And I didn't want to make this real long this morning. I don't really have anything else. I was going to start on the dragon. I have him here on my table, but I was pulling the parts out and I was getting ready to work on it. And Tippy came and sat right in the middle of it and would not leave. So I don't know. And I am going to hand stitch this together instead of trying to use my sewing machine. I am going to hand sew this one like I did the blue rabbit that I made. For anybody new, I'll show you the blue rabbit. Good morning, Melanie. I made this blue rabbit that I had cut out for when my sister had her little boy, and he's grown and married now. So I don't think Drake would want this. But I hand sewed him entirely by hand. So I'm going to do that with the dragon. It takes a little bit longer, but I love the finish I got with it. And I love his little tail. I only wish I'd made this with something like Sherpa, that's the fuzzy, but that's okay. It's still cute. I can't remember what we named this one. I'm still going. Your Blitzen chickpeas for hummus. I wish Scott liked hummus. Scott cannot stand chickpeas at all. He will not. He's like, they are absolutely disgusting. That's what he told me. So anyway, I think that's it. Today is the last day of June, you guys. So I was trying to think of something we could do for the month of July, or something that I could do on my channel. So if you guys want to leave some ideas of what we could maybe do together. I know people have been asking me to do prompt games again, but everything I've been doing lately is fiber oriented, and I don't really like to mix the wet of art with the dry of fiber art, because that's not a real good combination when you're trying to not make, like, I would not want to get paint on this. As labor intensive as this cross stitch thing is, doing my blipping head in, I would not want to get paint on it at all. So anyway, I'm going to get back to stitching on this. If I don't lose track of time, I'll see some of you at Janet's. Last week, I was like 20 minutes late into Janet Nash's stream at 9 o'clock because I was just doing something. I was working on the dragon, and I lost total track of time. See, Scott won't eat it because he doesn't. I don't know. Greg even bought some hummus, and Greg and I were eating it, and Scott tried it, and he said, that's disgusting. So I don't know. Maybe I don't handle chickpeas the correct way or something. So, all right, guys, I'm going to talk to you later. I'm rambling now, and I will talk to you in the next stream. Bye.